Welcome to the introduction for Operation Edgar. I am very happy that you're participating with this, and I hope that this is a blessing to you and to your life. I just briefly want to give you an introduction of what Operation Edgar is about. If you have your handout, you'll see that next to the Operation Edgar, you'll see it says Equipping Christians for Missional Living. So that's what Operation Edgar is all about. Hopefully, this effort will equip all of us to be more missional in our lives every day and to live our lives as a missionary to God's glory. Obviously, this is all about God's glory, but it's about how we can do that. And we'll move right into the first point on your handout. You'll see it says that launch requires great effort. And the great effort, as an example of that, is like when the space shuttle takes off or even when a jetliner takes off. The pilot has to give full power at the beginning. And if he does not, the plane never gets off the ground and get up to the altitude that it should. But once the plane gets up to the altitude, then the pilot backs off on the power. But until then, it does require a lot of power. And I think that's the same with Operation Edgar. Initially, it's going to be the most energy to take, and as the weeks go on, then it'll take less and less power. It always takes some effort, but I believe once we get up and we're cruising, that then that amount of time involved in living out Operation Edgar might be 30 minutes or less per week, which I think is going to be a tremendously good investment for us. Um, Below that, you'll see it says Simple Church and Simple Life. That is the framework for Operation Edgar. If you would like to read those books, they're wonderful books. They're available at Lifeway. Um, both of those books outline these four simple processes that we're going to build Operation Edgar around. And they make wonderful, practical sense, and it is something that in hundreds of churches, several hundred churches that were studied, the most successful churches all had these principles that were in play. Now, whether they knew that or not, they were there. But what we're going to do is be intentional about these processes and move from where we are today to where God would want us to be. And our focus is going to be on the missional aspect of everyday life, which is going to look different for every one of us, but that's what it's all about. The next line of blanks fills in and it says, desire without specificity typically leads nowhere. And I believe at Farmdale at this point in our life, we have desire and we have an idea of where we want to go, but we've not been led. I've failed as a leader to help lead us in where we are going to go in terms of how we're going to get there. So that's going to be two of the major things we look at is where are we going, how are we going to get there, and then that's what Operation Edgar is all about. Because if we don't get specific, the most of us are not going to be as successful as we should be as Christians. There are a few exceptions of people who live an exemplary life as a missional Christian who never go through these specific processes intentionally, but their life reflects these things. I think for the vast, vast majority of us, we don't have that gift, that we need some organization and we need some direction in getting to where God would have us to be. Most people don't accomplish great things by accident, and that's what we're going to do here with Operation Edgar, is we're going to attempt to be more missional Christians intentionally, and we're going to have some processes that are going to help get us there. Next, you'll see that we're going to try to move from being a wandering generality to a meaningful specific. That's a term that Zig Ziglar used a lot, but in terms of climbing a mountain or doing anything wonderful, it usually doesn't happen by accident. It happens when people set out and they know where God is leading us, they know what our purposes are, and then they develop plans and they go through these processes that are going to accomplish the process. So that's what Operation Edgar is all about. There are two aspects, and the first is the purpose, and the purpose is the how. The purpose is the what. The what is to build the church, to glorify God, to bring glory to Him. That is the purpose, and that's where purpose-driven life comes in. But purpose-driven life doesn't go far enough, in my opinion, in terms of telling us how to do these things. And then that's what the Simple Life and Simple Church and these types of things are helping us learn how to do it. So it says that the process is the how. So we have the process, and that's what this is going to be all about. So at this point now, we're going to go into the first step of the process, which is called clarity. The four processes are clarity, movement, alignment, and focus, and each are exciting, and each are going to have a very important role in Operation Edgar.